Data scientist job interview, technical deep dive. Characters. Interviewer, Mr. Harrison, senior data manager, professional, direct, and observant. Candidate, Elena, data scientist candidate, confident, analytical, and articulate.
All right, Elena, let's get into the weeds. I'd like to discuss a specific project from your portfolio.
I'd be happy to. Which one would you like to focus on?
Let's talk about the customer churn model you mentioned earlier. What was the specific objective?
The goal was to identify at-risk subscribers 3 months before their contract expiration.
3 months is a solid window for intervention. What kind of data were you working with?
It was a mix of structured transactional data, customer service logs, and behavioral clickstream data.
That sounds like a lot of noisy features. How did you handle the data cleaning process?
I spent a significant amount of time on feature engineering, specifically handling missing values through iterative imputer techniques.
Did you encounter any significant outliers in the transaction data?
Yes, particularly during holiday seasons. I used a robust scaling method to ensure they didn't skew the model.
Smart. Now, tell me about your model selection. Why did you choose your specific algorithm?
I initially benchmarked a logistic regression, but the relationships were nonlinear.
So, where did you go from there?
I moved to an XGBoost framework because of its ability to handle complex interactions and its built-in regularization.
Did you consider using a random forest instead?
I did, but XGBoost gave me a better AUC-ROC score during cross-validation.
How did you tune your hyperparameters?
I utilized a Bayesian optimization approach rather than a standard grid search to save on computation time.
I appreciate that efficiency. How did you address class imbalance?
Since churners were the minority, I applied SMOTE to oversample the minority class in the training set.
Did you validate that on a separate holdout set?
Absolutely. I kept a strict 20% test set that the model never saw during training.
What were the primary features that the model identified as high importance?
The frequency of app logins and the days since last contact were the strongest predictors.
That makes sense. Were there any surprising correlations?
Interestingly, customers who interacted with our educational blog were 15% less likely to churn.
That's a great insight for the marketing team.
Exactly. It shifted how we viewed content as a retention tool, not just an acquisition tool.
How did you deploy this model? Was it a batch process or real-time?
It started as a weekly batch job, but we eventually moved it to a real-time API using Flask and Docker.
Did you run into any latency issues with the real-time API?
Initially, yes. We had to optimize the feature retrieval from our SQL database to under 200 milliseconds.
That's a tight window for a complex model.
It was. We implemented a caching layer for the most frequent queries to speed things up.
How did you monitor the model for data drift after deployment?
I set up automated alerts to track the distribution of input features every month.
And what was the protocol if the model performance dropped?
We had a retraining pipeline ready to go if the F1 score dipped below a certain threshold.
It sounds like you built a very resilient system.
I believe a model is only as good as its maintenance plan.
Let's pivot slightly. How do you handle a situation where your results contradict a stakeholder's gut feeling?
I lead with the data, but I also try to understand the context of their intuition.
Could you give me an example?
Once, a manager thought a price hike wouldn't affect churn. My model showed a high sensitivity in the Midwest region.
How did you present that?
I used SHAP values to visually demonstrate how price was the deciding factor for those specific users.
SHAP values are excellent for interpretability. Did they buy into it?
They did. We ended up running an A/B test that confirmed the model's findings.
It's always satisfying when the test validates the science.
It really is. It builds trust in the data department.
Well, your technical depth is quite impressive, Elena.
Thank you. I enjoy solving the technical puzzles that come with big data.
See you in the next English conversation session by Wisdom Studio 8.